All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're breaking down a really structured, science-backed framework for building up your strength and finding some calm in a world that, let's be honest, feels more demanding than ever. It's called the 7-Day Inner Resilience Protocol. You know that feeling? You get to the end of the day and you're just completely wiped out, overwhelmed by all the notifications, the pressure, the constant go, go, go. If you feel that way, you're definitely not alone. It's kind of the signature feeling of modern life to feel a little bit disconnected. But here's a thought. What if the goal isn't to get rid of all the stress in your life? I mean, that's impossible, right? What if instead we just changed our relationship with it? This whole protocol is built on that powerful idea. The secret isn't a stress-free life, but a life where you're so much better at recovering, adapting, and even growing from the tough stuff. And that gets us to the core concept here, inner resilience. I want you to think of it like a psychological muscle. It's your ability to not just get through hard times, but to actually bounce back from them, to adapt to whatever life throws at you, and to hold on to your sense of well-being. Sometimes you even come out stronger on the other side. Now, I want to be clear, this is not just a random collection of feel-good tips. This is a framework that was actually designed by psychologists. It pulls from some of the most effective, well-researched models out there for managing stress and our emotional health. Yeah, this whole thing stands on the shoulders of some serious psychological heavy hitters. It pulls key ideas from cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, which is all about helping us reshape those unhelpful thought patterns. It also uses acceptance and commitment therapy, ACT, which teaches us to, accept what we can't change and focus on what we can do. And finally, it's grounded in mindfulness-based stress reduction, or MBSR, which is all about anchoring ourselves in the present. So this combination makes for a really solid foundation for building resilience. Okay, so let's start building that resilience muscle. The very first pillar, the foundation for everything else, is all about anchoring in the now. It's about learning how to ground ourselves right here, in this present moment. When you really think about it, so much of our anxiety and stress isn't about what's happening right now. It's our minds spinning out, either replaying things that already happened or rehearsing worries about the future. By learning to anchor in the now, we basically learn how to hit pause on that cycle. And getting started is actually super simple. This is a core practice for just 5 minutes. You find a quiet spot, you close your eyes, and you just bring all of your attention to the feeling of your breath. Now, the super important part here is that your mind is going to wander. That's what minds do. The real exercise, the rep that builds the muscle, is noticing it's wandered and then gently, without any judgment, just guiding it back to your breath. Over and over. That's the whole game. Okay, let's move on to the second pillar and see how this all connects. So once we get a little better at anchoring in the present, we can start to do some work on our internal world. Pillar 2 is all about reshaping the thoughts that are so often the source of our stress. A really powerful practice here is journaling, but with a specific goal, reframing our beliefs. So first, you just notice a negative thought that keeps popping up. That inner critic that loves to say things like, I'm not good enough. Then you kind of become a detective. You look for any evidence, no matter how small, that proves that thought wrong. And finally, you actually rewrite that belief into something more balanced, more compassionate, like you see here. This is not about being falsely positive. It's about creating an inner story that's actually more true and way more helpful. And for those moments when you feel totally overwhelmed, this self-compassion mantra from the protocol is just incredibly powerful. You can literally just put a hand on your heart and say these words to yourself. You acknowledge the feeling, you remind yourself that pain is part of being human, and then you offer yourself kindness. It's a simple way to actually calm your own nervous system right in the middle of a storm. This brings us to the third and final pillar, and this is where we connect our inner world to our outer world. See, real resilience isn't just about thinking and feeling differently inside. It's about taking actions in our lives that actually mean something to us. This table really pulls it all together. It shows how these pillars are designed to build on each other. You start by anchoring in the now, which creates a bit of space and awareness. That space then lets you reshape your thoughts without so much judgment. And once your inner world starts to feel a little more aligned, you can begin to act with purpose, taking that internal shift and making it real in your daily life. It's a really powerful progression when you see it laid out like that. So how do we actually do this? Well, it can start by just figuring out your core values, things like kindness or creativity or adventure. Then you just take one tiny action that lines up with one of those values. The protocol also really emphasizes actively looking for the good through gratitude. And the key here is to be specific. Don't just write down, I'm grateful for my family. Try something like, I'm grateful for the way my sister made me laugh so hard at her text today. That detail is what actually helps rewire your brain to notice more of the good stuff. Look, this 7-day protocol is an amazing catalyst. It's a great jumpstart, but it's not a one-and-done fix. The real goal is to use this week as a laboratory, to figure out what really works for you, and then to build a sustainable practice that you can carry forward. So think of it like you're creating your own personalized resilience toolkit. Maybe mindful breathing in the morning and a gratitude journal at night are the two things that really stick. The absolute key is consistency, not perfection. You're going to have days where you forget or just don't do it. The resilient response isn't to beat yourself up. It's to meet that setback with some self-compassion and just start again tomorrow. So to wrap this all up, let's make it real. Let's start that practice of purposeful action right now. Thinking about everything we just talked about, what is one small, compassionate thing you can do for yourself today?